felt inspired to write about W.C. Handy, knowing that he's the father of the blues and knowing that he created the platform of what we know as the 12-bar blues. So it's very educational for me as well, learning about his childhood and learning about his education in life and knowing about the places that he traveled to, the people he met, the ideas that he had, the people that he networked with. It was just an awesome opportunity to learn about his life and his struggles and his strife. What made me write the essay for the W.C. Handy project was our instructor at the time at Extreme Institute by Nelly here in St. Louis, Dr. Rosalind Norman. She asked individuals if they were interested in writing an essay. I decided to write the essay concerning W.C. Handy. And I found it quite interesting about W.C. Handy because not only was he a musician and an educator, but he was an innovator and he helped to commercialize blues, as we know it, the 12-bar blues, made famous in Memphis blues in 1912.
He told me they was going to do a documentary on him, and I looked him up, and I started reading about, like, he was like one of the first blues players, and just what he went through as a person, you know. So like the more I started reading about W.C. Handy, that's the more I got into it. So the more I got into it, the more you read about a person, that's the more, and plus it's musically, I'm a music person. So just to see the input of what he went through as a musician, that made me, you know, it'll make you want to write. You know, it made me want to have a more impact, not just write about it, but just have an impact in what she wanted to do with the story. Man, I learned he was an ambitious person. I learned great musician, great writer. I learned that he went through a struggle. I learned that he learned from every mistake that he went through as a musician. It made him a better person. First off, I felt appreciative to sit down and to write, you know, to learn about a person that you really didn't know, you know, from the jump, and then all of a sudden you start reading about this person and you learn more about this person.
What made me write the essay with W.C. Handy is very inspirational regarding the music and especially to the St. Louis hometown. And being an inspirational person myself, I couldn't help but to write for an inspirational guy who really gave a lot to St. Louis. What I learned about writing the paper on W.C. Handy was how he was an innovator of his time. I learned how he had hard times down, mainly down at the riverfront, lived up under the Eads Bridge for a time, and eventually went to Mississippi, learned about their culture, and took their raw, unknown genre of music and made it into blues, which was truly phenomenal. And itself, in that form, it was like in raw form. And he definitely came out with a great piece of work, especially the song known as St. Louis Blues, speaking about his situation in St. Louis itself. So that's what I learned about him.